All right. Welcome back to Sweet Science Boxing and MMA here in Hawthorne, California. I am here today with another episode of Beat the Count. On my immediate left, my co-host, lead writer of Supreme Boxing, Anthony Stacks Saldana.
What's going on, man?
How's it going, brother?
Good, man. Glad to be here today, man.
I'm glad to be here today, too, especially because to my far left, this is worthy of an introduction. I need to have some kind of proper introduction for this, I think.
Man, this guy right here has probably one of the best resumes in boxing. I mean, I've been following Alfonso Gomez, and that's who we have with us today for a very long time. I'm very excited that he's here. I mean, from anybody and everybody in boxing, man, Alfonso's got to have one of the best resumes in boxing. Alfonso Gomez, man, thank you for joining us today. Man, we appreciate you coming down to the studio, man.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation.
Yeah.
Thank you, the whole, live audience over there. You to your left.
Yeah, the live studio.
Yeah.
Hold your applause.
Put that
back
sign
there.
down.
Yeah, hold your applause back there. Chill out, if you guys would. No, I should say Alfonso's illustrious career, which is now 18 years in the making, and his resume features some of the most notable figures over the last 2 decades. Some of the most recognizable names, including the likes of, and of course, I'm going to forget some people here.
It's okay.
Arturo Gatti, Canelo Alvarez, Miguel Cotto, Jose Luis Castillo, and the list goes on and on.
Sean Porter.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to forget some people.
I myself forget about him all the time. I don't know why, but he is a big name. I mean, he's a big name.
He's a big name. He's absolutely a big name.
He's a big name.
Welterweight champion of the world right now. So welcome to Beat the Count. And I should also mention something. You were the first fight ever on the Contender. Is that accurate?
That's right. When the first fights came out, I was the one, that called out the toughest guy back in the day. And that changed my life forever.
And that was a then undefeated Peter Manfredo. Is that right?
Undefeated, ranked number 3 in the world. He was lined up. Basically, they did this show, The Contender. I'm going to be brutally honest. The Contender was built around him. Stallone wanted an Italian version of himself. That's why he joined the show. And out of everybody they picked, they say, hey, this guy can beat all these guys, eventually. But they didn't count on the little Mexican that could.
There you go, man.
So you know what the mistake was of the producer of The Contenders? Is that they were not into boxing. When they picked me, they said, oh, look at this, like chubby-looking Mexican, white skin, record of 10-2. But they had failed to realize that I was an alternate to the Mexican Olympics, where I actually won the whole thing. But they gave it to Jose Luis Sertuche, who had been in the committee for 8 years. They had invested 8 years in Jose Luis Sertuche. And here comes this Mexican from United States to Mexico and beats everybody. And they take the fight away from me, so he goes to the Olympics for me. They failed to realize that I had fought Ishii Smith in my third or second fight. And I beat him, and they gave him the fight on a split decision because of a low blow.
Yeah.
My low blows, those hurt right here. Unless you have your balls right here on the liver, that was not a low blow. And, they failed to realize that when I went into the Contender at 10-2, I had already faced, 6 undefeated fighters. Me coming in as the opponent, as the B-side, and I beat all of them. So, yeah.
But something else, though, is that you were also not naturally a middleweight at that time, right?
It's another thing. I was a welterweight coming up to middleweight. So, yeah, they obviously picked most of the fighters so they could be the B-sides. They were kind of looking to have Ishii Smith finished with Peter Manfredo. That's how they kind of set it up.
Yeah.
Now, everything was real. I don't think everything was acted. Everything was real, but it's more about behind the scenes, which is exactly what happens in boxing. Boxers do not get paid to lose. People ask me, do you get paid to lose? Do they give you money to lose? That does not happen. That does not exist. There's not one boxer in the world who goes up in the ring and says, yes, I'm going to lose for money, at least from my experience. But when things are set up in a way for somebody to win and somebody to lose, it's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The people that are making the fights. And in this case, the Contender, it was the producers that had set it up for that. But, shit happens, I guess.
So did they approach you to join the Contender, or is that something that you found?
No, I found. I was training in a Habra Boxing Club back in the day. and I saw a flyer that said Stallone was there, you know. And it says, "Hey, yo, you a boxer? You want to earn $1 million?" That's how I read it, you know, when I fucking saw him. And
With his voice on, talking to
I
you.
swear.
Oh, my God.
Oh, shit. And I said, "Yes, I'm a boxer. Yes, I want $1 million. Come audition, blah, blah, blah." So I went to the auditions, and, man, there were so many people there. Where was that? I can't remember where the auditions were, but 100 people. Obviously, like, fucking, maybe 10-20% were real boxers. The
Okay.
other 80% were backstage actors with their resume coming in, you know, thinking it was part of the whole
Like a show.
like show type of thing.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you know, it was a reality show, so I'm sure they did like a press release to all the agencies, you know, acting agencies, and they had a whole bunch of actors there. Which, when it was time to spar,
You got to kick their ass?
dude. Yeah, all the boxers were kicking. we were fucking them up big time. All the actors, man, that was funny. That was a good experience.
So you have a shout out right now from TJ from Kenya, Enriquez. She says to tell you hello.
Oh, Kenia, chulada de mujer, morenita, trabaja duro, una sonrisa espectacular. She has a great smile. I love her. I really love her a lot. With all due respect to her boyfriend, which she's constantly posting on the Instagram stories and everything, but she's a hustler. She's doing her thing. She's a champion. So yeah, Kenya.
A couple other quick shout-outs, if I could. Eddie Rodriguez Sr. joined as a matchmaker in the area. He said you're a warrior and a champion.
Thank you,
from
Eddie.
the contender on up. And also Rogelio Guzman. What's up, Rogelio? Said saludos from Jacksonville.
Rogelio, Jacksonville, everybody over there, saludos.
All right.
I'm sure you have a lot of Spanish speakers.
Oh, yeah.
Es que
Oh, yeah.
sometimes, I'm telling you, punches are not vitamins. I keep telling everybody that. I forget a lot of stuff.
That's a shirt, man.
And sometimes that's a shirt right there.
A
huh?
bumper sticker or something.
Punches are not vitamins.
Punches are not vitamins. So I coined that term, people, in case you guys see it. Just
Trademark.
Say, hey, yeah, trademark it. But yeah, I switch it up. Empiezo a hablar en español y se me olvida. Y like, este cabrón qué. Do you speak Spanish, Sean?
I don't speak Spanish.
He understands what you're saying, man. So go
Okay,
ahead.
so I'll try
To an
to.
extent.
No, in my brain, as soon as I know somebody that speaks Spanish, it like understands that. So
Stacks
I
can
got you.
pretend better than me, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also don't speak Spanish?
No, I speak Spanish, man. I tell him I don't.
He
man.
tells me he doesn't, but
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah,
He
that's
does
good.
speak Spanish.
No.
So I know that I've seen a lot of your recent interviews, and you're talking about a ring return, but it sounds like your motivations are perhaps different than maybe they were when you were a young man. Can you talk a little bit about what's inspired you to come back? Obviously, you're still at an age where this is completely a plausible ring return, but what is the motivation this time around?
Yes. Well, the motivation. It seems like when I first started boxing, the motivation was more of a take. You know, I want fame. I want money. I want to be a champion. And it's always an I aspect of why people box. You know, I want to feed my family, blah, blah. But now it's more like of a you, you know. It would be I came back to boxing because I have so much knowledge beyond, you know, what trainers have and beyond what regular people have. And, you know, maybe we'll talk about how I got that awakening. It's not even a knowledge, it's an awakening.
Okay.
Knowledge is one thing, right? You know a lot of stuff. But an awakening where, like, it changes your whole perspective of life. So when I got this perspective, I have a soft spot for boxers because I am one of boxers. I was a boxer. I am one. That I decided to come back to boxing to give all this wisdom to boxers so they can be happier. They can be better. They can feed more families. I want to be the voice of boxers that they're tied down to promotions or they're tied down to managers so they really can't say what's in their mind. I'm not tied down to anybody, you know, so I can really speak my mind and really open the eyes of the boxers and the boxing fans around the world on many aspects of boxing and many aspects of life that ultimately will give them what I consider the purpose of every human being in this world, happiness.
Nice.
So, you mentioned a little bit about this, but I watched a recent interview that you did with Against the Ropes, and you were kind of describing, and I'll paraphrase here, but you were describing how the relationship, I should say, between management, promoter, and fighter is kind of something that's a remnant of the past, not necessary for today in a social media sort of modern world. How do you think that relationship should change, or what would you like to see change in the nature of that relationship?
Yes, it seems like, life is an evolution. Everything's going to change ultimately. And I might be one of the first boxing influencers or boxerpreneurs, like I'm calling myself. But eventually, in a few years, all boxers are going to get all this knowledge and going to realize it. And not really because of me. It's because it's an evolution of life, right? I just happen to be the one that has, this mic right here, and I'm saying it. I'm loud about it. So it makes it seem like, oh, I'm getting it. But no, I'm sure a lot of boxers are getting these ideas of evolution. But everything is evolving except boxers' mentality. The boxing is not evolving at all. The trainings are not evolving. They're evolving in terms of the conditioning.
Okay.
You can see a lot of different elements of conditioning, but the root of boxing has not evolved at all. It's still boxers throwing 1, 2, 3. And I did a video saying, man, stop fucking throwing 1, 2, 3. Everybody throws 1, 2, 3, and everybody knows about 1, 2, 3. Let's change it. Is the era of the 1, 2, 1, And I say 1, 2, 1 because every boxer that hears this, when you start sparring and you throw 1, 2, 1, you're gonna realize what the fuck I'm talking about. Now, to answer your question, I go like that.
That's okay.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yes. Back in the day, I'm sure in 1919, right? Back a century ago, there was this boxer who was very poor, worked at the mill or worked at whatever. And he was strong because of his work. He decided to go to a gym where there was this trainer, train him. He listens to the trainer, and then the trainer knows the manager, right? Because he's involved in the boxing world. And this manager, who's more savvy, who's schooled because he knows law, this and stuff, knows promoters. And the promoter, because he's the one that has the money, the promotion, he's the guy on top. So I'm sure a boxer back in the day, 100 years ago, he had to go through that hierarchy in order to finally have a fight and then actually have connection with the fans.
Fan recognition.
Right? Fan recognition through the media. That's long gone. I already have connection with a fan directly right here,
Yeah.
So the hierarchy should change. Why is a promoter, why is a manager, why are these people getting more money than the guy risking his life? Makes no fucking sense. Now, don't get me wrong, we do need promoters. People are saying, so you don't need promoters? How are you going to get fights? No, we do need promoters. We need promoters that can promote shows. They have the team, they have the knowledge, they have the lights, they have the setup. We do need a promoter. Do we need managers? Fuck yeah, we need managers. We need somebody that knows about laws, that knows about contracts, that knows business, that cares for you, loves you, to protect you against a promoter, because every individual is on his own here, right? Do we need trainers? Yeah, we need trainers now. Do we need there's a point in a boxer's life when he knows more than the trainer. Let's be honest. Yet we still move in a world where we think the trainer knows more than the boxer, and that's ludicrous. How can a trainer? Robert Garcia. He's good. He fought. Freddie Roach was also in the ring and all this stuff, but there are trainers out there who were never in the ring, who were never at the elite. They were in the ring, but maybe not at an elite level, which is totally different. And then you got these mega stars listening to trainers that don't have that type of knowledge. And I feel that if the boxers understood this, boxing would evolve even faster. But there's like a holdback always when boxers are the one that know more. And I say this because I know more than my trainer. I know a lot of shit, and I have the balls to tell my trainer no, and boxers don't. The trainer, it's just a little weird. So the hierarchy shouldn't be promoter, manager, trainer, boxer. The hierarchy should be like this: promoter, manager, trainer, boxer. We each individual have a business to run. The promoter promotes, the manager manages, the trainer trains, and the boxer is the boxer. But the boxer is an entity on his own. He is the boss, of his own entity, of his own things. things like that. Stuff like there's a lot of things, mental aspects of boxing that should change and that will change. Not because I'm saying it, is because it's a normal part of evolution.
You know, though, I think one thing that happens is I've noticed it is that you get some of these young kids that are hungry. You get especially little mexicanitos, Mexican kids that are coming up. They're poor. Their family doesn't know, like you say, the law. They don't know about rules. Then they become 7, 8-time national champions in the amateur. They start becoming 16, 17-year-olds. And then you get these poachers. And that's what I call them, poachers. They come in here and they get to the family and they get to the kids. Well, I can make you rich. Your son's this. You guys don't know the law. I can help you get your micas. I can help you do this. I can help you do that. But I'm going to take 35%. And then the promoter's going to take his cut. So then the kid fights and he gets $600 for the fight. And where's the money? The manager's got it.
Not only that.
Promoter's got it. Other people have it. And then he's stuck in a 5-year contract that the parents and this kid didn't have a clue about what they were signing, but they did it because this guy came in and promised them the world, and now they're stuck in that contract.
That is precisely why I came back to boxing. I mean, I really don't care about the Canelos because they're already on top. They're already making their money, and they're stubborn. I mean, you cannot say don't do this because what they did made them that. I mean, you cannot go against that.
But they're 1 in a million.
But I'm talking about the 999 of the other fighters that were not the Canelos or the Pacquiaos, because there's a lot of them. Those are the people I speak to. And in speaking about the $600, the fighter gets paid $600, but when he gets his IRS at the end of the year, his W2s, or 1099s. Yeah, when the boxer gets his 1099, he gets it for $2,000. And I'm telling you this because this is exactly what happened to me.
So now he's paying taxes on everything.
On everybody. Oh, I'm getting like frustrated because that's what happens. And that's so abusive and that's so fucked up.
So I do have a follow-up question as it relates particularly to training. But before that, I just want to get quickly caught up on the chat. So much love from Bakersfield from Carlitos. Thank you, Carlitos. Where are we at? Paul Benke. Champ.
Paul Benke.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Paul Benke said, you stopped Arturo Gatti. In fact, he did indeed.
And we'll get to that fight because I want to talk about that.
You have some questions about that, I take it?
No questions.
Eddie Rodriguez, who is, of course, a local matchmaker here for some great events. If you guys haven't checked out Eddie's events, All-Star and many others in the area. I know you've seen them even recently.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. It's amazing. A lot of the people that are watching, they're top dogs. This is a top show.
No, it sure is, man.
They're only watching because you're on here, bro.
Very interesting.
Because Alfonso's on, man.
Let's be real. Let's be real. I'm telling you, I don't bullshit. I'll talk what's real.
But Eddie said you didn't mention matchmakers, and I that is true.
That's true. It's because you're right. Sorry about that. I never had a connection with matchmaker. Matchmakers are usually in the background. They're the ones speaking to the promoters, you know. But yeah. Also matchmakers, I mean, the rule of a matchmaker is to work for the promoter and make sure that the fighter signed to the promotion has the best possibilities of winning the fight, you know. So their job is to look for a good fight that's going to develop the fighter more, yet not beat the fighter, you know. So yeah, you have your role. There's no hate against that. You just got to do what you have to do. Now, there's A side and B side. You guys work for the A side. You guys look for a B side that can lose to the A side, and that's normal. And I tell this to all the B-sides because when I tell people, oh, you're in the B-side, first of all, you have to be real with yourself. Reality check, you're on the B-side. You're here to lose, period, end of discussion. Once you get that in your brain, don't be like, don't like beat down on yourself like, oh, I'm the B-side and they don't want me to win. No, be excited because being the B-side is the best position you can be. One, you already know you're there to lose, so you have nothing to worry about. 2, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Every B-side fighter, this is the opportunity of a lifetime.
Ask Andy Ruiz.
Be gracious and be happy about it, you know?
Absolutely. And Paul Benke says, Stax is the Mexican Max Kellerman. Oh, my goodness.
Man, trying to blow my head up already, Paul Benke. Mexican Max Kellerman, man. Actually, I'm better and better looking, so it's all right, man.
Yeah, your green eyes really stand out.
Thank you so much, Alfonso.
We have to get Paul on the show now.
No, exactly.
We're going to have a discussion just about.
So back to that Gotti fight, man. To me, I think that's the fight that actually propelled you because you had some notoriety because of the contender exactly, but you're the one that actually retired, Arturo Gatti. After that, then you had a fight with the African guy, Ben Taki, and then from there you went on, of course, to fight Cotto.
Yes.
Yeah, so, man, how was that going up against Gatti, man? Being that warrior, that great that he was, with his wars with, Mickey Ward and whatnot, and then you get to go up to ring knowing that you're going to be fighting somebody that's
not only I'm gonna fight somebody that's going to give me the opportunity for a world title, but I'm gonna fight my idol, literally my idol. I mean, Chavez was my idol too because of Chavez was my idol, not necessarily because I decided him to be my idol. He was my idol because he was the idol of all Mexicans, and I'm Mexican, and my dad was Mexican. Everybody rooted for him, so we really liked his fighting. But in my heart, who I feel was really my idol was Arturo Gatti. I just love watching his fights. I don't remember watching a Chavez fight over and over and over again, Maybe just the Madrick Taylor one when they replayed it because I wasn't even boxing back in the day in those times. But I remember watching Arturo Gatti's fight over and over and over again. So if I have to consider somebody, my idol, it would have to be him. So, shit, I'm fighting my idol. Wow, it was an amazing experience when I got the call and the fight and beating him. It was very thrilling. And like you said, that sent me into the world championship with Miguel Cotto in a way.
You were injured for the Cotto fight, though, were you not?
Yes, I actually broke my hand with Ben Taki. And sorry, I'm here trying to set up this for all the people watching me on my Facebook Live.
All right.
Yeah, I'm also, I got Facebook Live too.
Cross-promoting.
There you go, man.
Cross-promoting.
Yeah, I broke my hand. This one right here. I broke my hand in the second round against Ben Taki. And I won that fight. Thank God. Boxed him, moved around. And I know that obviously the matchmakers knew this when they were setting up a fight. They say, oh my God, Gomez beat Gatti. He has a good fight against Ben Taki, who, had a solid fight against, great champions like Costa Sue and etc. And he is injured. He has a broken hand. Let's call him for a world title shot. Now, if you call anybody for a world title shot, they're going to take it. There's a long 999,999 people behind you looking for that opportunity. They're going to give it to you. You're going to take it. So when they told me you're going to fight, I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Even though I have a broken hand. And my hand was like this because it didn't heal right. Oh. And I'll go as to why it didn't heal right. Because the promotion that I fought, who was it? Contenders, maybe. I don't know. They had bad insurance for boxers. The cheap one. So when I went to Kaiser, they gave me the cheap therapy. And my hand ended up like that. The day of the fight with Miguel Cotto, they had to put cortisone on my finger and numbing so they can bend it and put my glove in.
Now, you still got a pretty bad scar there too, man.
It's still there,
but surgery on your hand?
I had surgery, yeah. I mean, because the bone impelled into the knuckle impelled into the bone, so I had to get surgery. After the surgery, my hand stayed like that because little cheap therapies they gave me at Kaiser didn't work. When I fought Miguel Cotto, they had to bend my finger, basically, put the glove in. My whole training, I mean, it was a sucky training. It was sucky, everything sucked. The experience of fighting him, the promotion, it was bliss. It was awesome. But the training and all that stuff was not good at all, and it kind of showed. That's why when people ask me, who is the toughest fighter you've ever faced? In my mind, is Miguel Cotto. That guy was so precise. It was so good. I just couldn't do anything. Now, if I have to excuse it, it has to do with all this. But at the core of things, at the highlight of the film, the main fight, it is Cotto, the one that beat me. Now, if I was 100%, maybe I wouldn't say that. Maybe I would say Caraz or something.
Which you hold a victory over Caraz and Kamagai as well, right? Your last fight was Kamagai,
My
right?
last fight was against Yoshimiro Kamagai.
Yeah.
Good fighter, also solid. I beat him, and then I retired.
Yeah.
Well, Kamagai's been in some wars as well, man. Him and Soto Caraz, him and Robert Guerrero. I mean, so Kamagai's been around, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's why Golden Boy signed him. They know he's a good Japanese fighter, kamikaze, you know what that means? He's willing to die there, and he's shown it, this kamikaze guy. And that's why he's good. He does wars. He's a very exciting fighter. And Kamagai, kudos to him. We had a great war. Thank you for that.
So you mentioned being on the comeback trail and the reasons why you're doing that, and that inevitably leads to a ring return. Is that fair to say?
Say that again.
Are you going to fight again?
Yes, my plan is to fight again. I do want to fight again, but like I said, it's a different idea of why I'm coming back. I'm not coming back on the same trail of calling my manager, hey, can you set me up a fight? Which I could, and I did. I called him, told him my idea. He kind of said, I love you too much to tell you to do it, but if you want, I can help you. And I said, you know what, let me do it on my own. Let me do some things on my own to see how it works. Because part of being a boxing influencer and influencing fighters coming up is I have to do it myself. If you look on my online from 4 months to now, it's more about trying a lot of different things, a lot of different ways of doing videos, a lot of things of trying to explode with the Andy Reese effect, just trying a lot of stuff to see what works and what doesn't work. I'm not afraid to lose. I'm not afraid to say, oh, I was wrong about this, because ultimately in the big picture, once I have everything down, it'll be for the boxers to know that this works and this doesn't.
You know, like we said at the beginning of the show, for those of you guys that are just tuning in, we have Alfonso Gomez with us, who's fought everybody and anybody. I mean, like we said, you know, from Jose Luis Castillo to Canelo Alvarez to Miguel Cotto, Yoshihiro Kamagai, Arturo Gatti.
Sean Porter.
Sean Porter, exactly. Not to forget Porter.
Porter.
We fought everybody. So really, you know, I guess what I'm getting to is you're 39 years old. You have nothing to prove in boxing. What expectations do you have as far as coming back? What are your expectations in boxing? What do you want to prove? Is it just to yourself? Is it to try to become world champion again? What's going on, man? What's going through your mind?
Yeah, if being world champion is where it leads me, I'm basically coming back to do 4 fights. You know, it's not like I want to stay long, maybe 2 years max, you know, to come back to boxing. That's why I was looking forward to fight Omar Chavez, because he's a pretty limited fighter with a big name. You know, so I was pushing it. People were like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you calling Omar Chavez out? You're fucking Alfonso Gomez. You're at, you know, at this level. Omar Chavez is down here. Why are you doing that? And I told him because my purpose is not to fight these guys. I mean, I will, and I probably will. My purpose is to expand the voice more. Fighting someone like Omar Chavez gives me a lot of exposure to get that out there.
No, especially in the Mexican market, and all throughout Mexico, everybody knows the Chavez name. I mean, in boxing worldwide, everybody knows who Julio Cesar Chavez is. They might not know who Omar Chavez is, but eventually they'll find out, hey, this is Julio's son, and this is the great Alfonso Gomez going at it. It's gonna bring worldwide media attention.
Yes. Like I said, and I think my core audience for this boxing influencer idea that I have, the role that I'm actually in. I'm actually proud to say that I'm a boxing influencer. Boxers are people are kind of ashamed to say they're online influencers or YouTube influencers, especially when they have a certain, a certain degree. Let's say a doctor, he has a good degree. Calling himself an influencer seems a little, you coming down. You know, if you're a world champion and you say, oh, I'm going to be a YouTube influencer, the mentality is like, oh, he's coming down to be an YouTube influencer. I am proud to say I am one of the first, if not the first, boxing influencer. And when I say this, yes, Ryan Garcia has a lot of followers, and a lot of other boxers have a lot of followers, but they're not really taking this role as a boxing influencer. You know, really spending 10, 12 hours a day looking online to see what's going to work, learning Facebook ads, learning about ClickFunnels, learning about Patreon, learning about the different platforms that are coming up, which ones are going to blow up, who's saying who. I mean, all this stuff, they're not taking the time to do it. I am. I'm really spending 10, 12 hours a day learning my craft of being an influencer. So, yeah, I am the first one, and there will be more. So this role that I'm taking, my core crowd, I have to say, could be the Mexican fighters, because they are the ones that need the most help.
You know, and I think you got a point there as far as the influencing goes, and as far as, you know, the followers go on social media. You know, one thing that I don't see a lot of promoters doing, I don't see a lot of managers doing, is marketing their fighters and marketing them to certain people, because as we know, inside of the boxing industry, you, of course, as a fighter, that boxers don't make Floyd Mayweather money. They don't make that type of money in these fights. You know, they're making $1,000 or $2,000. That's what they're getting paid, but they're still giving a cut to their managers, to the promotion companies, and everybody else, right? So their money comes from sponsorships, from putting those patches on their shorts, for people helping them out through training camp and sponsorships. And if they're not getting recognized, if they don't have somebody, like you say, influencing them or showing them the ways, they're never going to make it.
That's the thing. Like the way the system is set up is messed up. I wrote to a lot of boxing brands. You know, Title Boxing was one of the first ones that accepted it. Blackout Boxing too. They sent me some stuff, and I wrote this email. I said, "Hey, I'm coming back to boxing. I'm so excited. I'm Alfonso Gomez." And they yeah, we know who you are. And I said, back in the day when I was a boxer, the boxer brand relationship was doomed from the beginning. Why? Because here I am asking you for money so I can put a patch on my trunks. I want $1,000 so I can put a patch on my trunks, you know. And the ROI of the brand was zero or mediocre at best. You give me $1,000, you're not gonna get $6,000 back in sales. Fact, right? So I told them I want to change that too. I'm not only changing the mentality and the training, I'm also changing the relationship between brands and boxers. I told them, can you please send me anything discontinued, defective, fucking returns, sales, whatever you want to send it to me, so I can start showing off in my platforms, YouTube, blah blah blah. But I want a 20% sale code for the people that are following me, so they can get the sale. And per sale, I get 20% out of that. So this relationship seems more of a real relationship that can last longer than the first one. Why? Because it's based on trust. You give me stuff and you trust that I'm actually going to promote it. 2 is based on hard work. I have to work for my money. If you don't get a sale, I don't get money. All right? And they kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because
understandably
of course,
so. And I think it's important as a fighter in today's market to actually think of yourself as a company or as a business of yourself. You are a brand. Alfonso Gomez is a brand.
That's what I told you. The hierarchies, when I say the hierarchies are changing, also the boxer has to take the role of being, oh shit, all right, so this guy is a promoter, he's promoting, let him do his stuff. This guy's a manager, let him do his stuff. This guy's a trainer, let him do his stuff. I'm the boxer. Number one thing a boxer should do, and if you're a boxer listening to me right now, please do this ASAP. Incorporate yourself. Incorporate yourself, your name. John Juan Martinez LLC. Incorporate yourself. Tell your promoters to pay your LLC. You pay your people from your LLC. You don't have to pay taxes as a person. Protect yourself. They're not going to sue you. They're going to sue the LLC. You're going to be able to deduct taxes. You're going to be able to do deductions. You're going to save yourself a lot of money. Please incorporate yourself. Yeah. Number one.
I think the reason that it's so important for people like you to deliver that message to the viewing audience is, in particularly, a lot of these fighters, they're starting out so young, right? They're young men. They're even world-class athletes can be in their early 20s. You look at Canelo Alvarez, for instance, where he was when he was just 20, 22 years old. I remember what I was like at 20, 22 years old, and I was not fiscally responsible. That's an easy way to say it. And I think that it's important to get the message out there that you have to make the right moves and surround yourself with the right people to make sure that you have a sustainable future, because a lot of that money is, as you guys have mentioned, it's just going to be gone otherwise, right?
You have to educate yourself. I mean, no matter where you come from, I mean, once you get to a certain level, like he says, you LLC yourself, but you have to educate yourself as a person. It's not always about being able to trust people, because, I mean, just recently, I want to say it was Israel Vasquez that lost millions of dollars because his lawyers never pay taxes on his money. You know, there's certain people that have their hand in the cookie jar, and they just don't take care of these fighters. I mean, they know the laws, they know the rules, and they know the loopholes, how to rip people off.
I don't disagree.
And it's sad because these fighters, their families, they don't have a clue of what they're getting into. A lot of them don't. They're hungry to become a world champion. They're hungry to get into the sport. And a lot of these kids that come in from third world countries, that come in from Colombia, that come in from the, you know, from Nicaragua, from Honduras, from Mexico, that come in from these villages, that come to the United States, they see the bright lights, they see the big city, and they're happy with a couple $100, the first couple years that they get. And then once they get to a certain level, it's like, where's my money? Where's it? Well, you sign this, well, you sign that. There's taxes that aren't being paid.
Yeah.
That's
bad.
why I'm here, guys. I'm literally here to spread that knowledge, spread that voice. And unfortunately, in those third world countries, they don't even have internet. They don't even have stuff because, I set up a store, with a content, with a whole bunch of stuff, gloves and this and that. And most of the people that write me, they want to buy, they're from Mexico or Argentina, and they don't have credit cards. How do I pay you? I'll be like, well, go in there and put your credit card.
I don't have a credit card.
They
Yeah.
don't have credit cards here. Like, fuck. Their internet is slow. Fuck. So, this country's developing. Once they grow more into the internet, into the stuff, I'll be there, obviously. By then, I'm sure in a year or two, I'm going to have so much content on the internet. You're going to see me everywhere. So, like I said, I came back to boxing just for that. Honestly, just for that. I was living comfortably. Long Beach, in front of the beach, And I started this Amazon thing with my ex-girlfriend. And I started selling sponges.
Sponges?
Yeah, because there's a way to find out what products are becoming popular on Amazon.
Sure.
Right? It seems to be like a demand growing. There's a way to find. It took me a 2-month process to figure this out. This product, you have to do 2-month research to find out. Okay, this is a product. So we picked 10 different products. Through the products, we try to figure out which ones had not many reviews. That means there's not much, to climb up. And in the reviews that had issues, they don't have good reviews. That way you can fix those issues. The string is too loose. So then you call Alibaba, which is a Chinese manufacturers, and be like, oh, can you make the string harder? And then you pose your product and be like, our string is more durable, right? So there's a system. And next thing you know, like earning $500, $300, $200, like on its own. Because I don't even see the product. At one point, I did see it first, but at one point, you already know what the product is. All you can do is like, not even call on the text, hey, Alibaba, to the manufacturer, send me another box. They send it directly to Amazon warehouses, where they actually do the fulfillment.
Yeah.
And you never see the product again, and you're just sitting down earning money. Now, once I started to learn about this online, guys, this baby right here, this right here, is your gateway to freedom and happiness. People really don't like this that much. They talk bad on the phones. Ya quítate el teléfono, todo el pinche día en el teléfono. Oh my God, back in my days, we used to talk in the table. We used to talk in the table and not text people. Dude, I'm sorry, you're either part of evolution or you're against it. And I suggest be part of it. So when I figured out that, fuck, dude, Amazon, like, shit, you're earning money here, and you go more in there, and you realize these people are earning money online, and you're like, dude, and you got boxers suffering, taken advantage of. So suddenly I couldn't sleep at night. I was so comfortable when I couldn't sleep at night. And I said, you know what, I'm going to come back to boxing for the sole purpose to tell boxers that this device right here is your friend. Grasp it, love it, but don't be stupid and just be all day there looking at chicas. Ay, qué buena está esta vieja. Posting, I'm right here drinking. Which is cool. Everybody does that stuff, But actually, if you're going to spend 10 hours there, learn it. Learn the platforms. What's selling? One thing I realized, because my name before was El Gomez H3. That was my Instagram name. H3, because my brother's band is Hybrid H3. So I kind of want to be like, oh, El Gomez H3. And then you find out, like, if you're a boxer, if you take this as a business, you're not gonna put El Gomez H3. You're gonna put El Gomez Boxing.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not gonna put a picture of you and your girl, or just a picture. You're gonna actually put up con los guantes. Because when people are scrolling and they see El Gomez Boxing, people that love boxing, that follow boxers, they'll stop, right? And then they'll follow you. But if these people follow boxing and they're El Gomez H3, con su vieja, whatever, No, take it as a business. So if you're a boxer, I tell this to all of the boxers. If you are a boxer, make sure your screen name is related to your business. So Israel Vasquez boxing, box, champ, whatever. You know, Don Israel 25, 24, 45.
A couple things about that. One is I think you described Stax's Instagram to a T earlier. Number one. But no, I've been following your Instagram for some time, and one of the ways that you're passing along knowledge is like this. You know, you have platforms like this where you're sitting down on podcasts and you're sharing this information. But another thing that I've seen you doing recently is actually training. You mentioned that you have a lot of experience that you can share, that you are comfortable with the fact that you know more than your trainer. And I can see that you're sharing that through mitt work and other experiences with younger fighters or fighters of the next generation. Is that something that you're finding a passion for, or where do you see your future as it comes to training young fighters?
Well, yes, when I retired and was doing this whole Amazon thing, I was just like, what am I going to do? When I'm going to get more income, because it's always about income. I said, I'm going to train. And they would ask me, do you want to train fighters? Like, nah. Training fighter, there's no money training fighters. There's no money training fighters, at least not when I was growing up. So in my mind, training fighters, there's no money unless they become Canelos or become big names. And that's years and years of investment without any returns. I'm not interested. I will train, though, but I start training regular people. Doctors, lawyers, charging good money for their training. And that's when I realized the majority of trainers, like Jeff Mayweather said, don't know shit, right? Because in order for me to teach a lawyer about boxing, I had to break it down to the core, to the like this, literally down. And when I started teaching these guys the movements, the drills, the way to block, which one's more effective. First of all, everything that I do in boxing is mathematical. In physics, math, and geometry. If it does not fit there, if it does not make sense mathematically, don't even talk to me, don't even tell me about it. So I had to break it down in that aspect. And I was like, wait a second, nobody really taught me this. My dad, who I love very much, he worked hard at training me with his knowledge, but at one point I surpassed him, you know, and I didn't know I had surpassed him. It was just more of a routines, fighting, but up in the ring I was doing a lot of stuff just on my own, and obviously fighting the elite fighters like Canelo, Cotto, Gary Castillo, Porter, Ishii Smith. I mean, I'm talking about 17 champions I fought in my 35 fight career. Then you learn something, and then I realized, oh man, a lot of stuff the boxers do it's too primitive. Let's be honest, too primitive. The majority of boxers and trainers, they're not really thinking when they're training. They're just following, right? They're not really thinking, they're following. And yeah, a lot of the things that I had learned, now I have a passion to show that. Now, do I want to train people? Do I want to train kids? Right now, I'm not interested in that, but I am interested in doing online lessons, in a sense that, hey, are you a boxer and you want to learn how to throw a jab properly? Please put your email down here and I'll give you the first lesson for free, type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And this thing will be revolving just in online, boom, 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 like a Facebook ad. Targeted, this is beautiful, targeted directly to, I get 13 to 16-year-old boxers, kids that like boxing, Latinos. So you target it to them. And this is what I'm more interested in doing, more than sitting down in a location and training people.
It's interesting to hear you say that, because we've actually had this conversation on the show a number of times where I feel like boxing is the lessons that are learned in boxing are passed down from coach to pupil to coach, and somewhere along the way you lose a lot of the why you're doing the things that you are doing. And so people in boxing gyms, I think you can find, are doing things the same way that they have been doing for the last 100 years in terms of training. You actually talk about that a lot. You mentioned it with the 1-2-1 and some of the other ways. Yeah. So I think it's interesting to hear some of those ideas.
I like how you said it. Yeah, there it is. There's a good key right there. They don't ask why.
Yeah.
Nobody
exactly.
asks why.
Yeah, why do I do this?
They just follow it.
You know, and then it falls into that stereotype, for instance, Mexican style. So when they say Mexican style boxing, we automatically picture the come forward, no defense, all out wars, bandito, Vargas style, to the body, to the head, no type of defense. Let's just throw punches, get in there and beat each other to a pulp, Mexican style.
I mean, and not to say bad things about Mexicans. It's just that we're just warriors. We don't have a lot of knowledge. I mean, starting when we call it Mexican style, it goes back to the days where Mexicans would just fight, right? And the trainer would just be strong, go fight. But that has to change. I mean, that has to change. There's no Mexican style. It's either you get hit or you don't get hit, right?
That's what boxing is. Yeah, hit or don't get hit.
Exactly. And I mean, there's a lot of fighters out there that did it, and most of them are black fighters. You got Muhammad Ali, you got Roy Jones Jr.,
Floyd
Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, and all these black fighters. They're fucking smart. They're good. And then you got the Mexican fighters, who I think the only reason Mexican fighters at one point can beat the coming forward fighter can beat a boxer, meaning a black fighter usually, is if the black fighter gets tired. If the black fighter has those legs 12 rounds, it'll be very hard for a Mexican fighter to actually beat him, And I mean, I could be wrong, and which many times I am, but I'm not.
Yeah, I mean,
Canelo, look at Canelo.
He's changing his game. He's changing his whole style.
And I applaud him for that.
Yeah.
Good. Don't get hit, fool.
Exactly.
Good. And people are criticizing him for it.
He's very criticized for it.
It's funny because his last fight with Triple G, right? I mean, what people started bringing up was, he talked all this shit about Floyd Mayweather, and all Floyd Mayweather did was run when he fought him, right? But yet when he fought Triple G, he fought a perfect fight. I mean, he jabbed, he pressured, and he was in and out of there the way he was supposed to. He boxed beautifully. It wasn't the war that a lot of people were expecting, where Canelo was just going to come forward and boom, they were going to bang it out. Canelo boxed, and he did a great job that second fight.
I mean, he did so good that he got that multi-million-dollar deal. He did so good that he's going to be fighting more years. I mean, I applaud him for it.
He became the franchise champion.
The franchise, yeah.
Whatever that is.
Well, recognition, I guess. Recognitions, more money developing in the system. But I applaud him for it. And every boxer should look, rather than criticize, like every fighter, Mexican fighter, that's criticizing Canelo and criticizing Mayweather for running, you are in a position that is not good. Your mentality is not good. Because if you oppose that style in your mind, that means you're not going to practice it. You're going to practice the other style. And the other style is not good for you. It's not good for your business. It might be good for the crowd because people, I fight for the crowd. Don't fight for the crowd. Fight for yourself. Fight for your family, and fight for your future, and fight for your happiness. Period. End of discussion.
Yeah. To some extent, there is an overlap between that, though, right? Because, meaning, Canelo and Floyd Mayweather are exceptional at their craft, and they're kind of an exception to the rule, which is that they make exceptional amounts of money for what they do. But as you guys said, they're both heavily criticized for stylistically what they bring to the ring. The people that we remember, the people who make the most memorable fights for boxing fans, are people like Arturo Gatti, or people like, that don't necessarily have that style. And you could argue that they have the deepest connection with boxing fans. So you are trying to build your brand, and part of that is connecting to fans, but at the same time you're also trying to stay healthy. So isn't there some overlap or medium that we need to achieve?
It could be an overlap, but I think if that's the thing, the whole mentality of boxing is like, no, do not do what Mayweather does, especially in the Latinos, and the Latinos seem to be the ones that are carrying boxing, so you have to please that crowd if you want to continue boxing in a way. But if the whole mentality starts to change, which will, because it's evolution, then everybody will realize, and everybody's going to applaud the fighter that can hit 100 times and get hit 0. At one point, people should be applauding, should be waiting for the stats at the end of the fight just to see, oh my God, Mayweather hit 100 and 300 times, and he got hit 4 times, and he should get a belt for that, right? At one point in boxing, it should be anticipated at the end of the fight to see what the numbers read. And then the fighter that has the biggest gap between hitting and getting hit should be like the most applauded fighter in history. Now, that's a different kind of mentality. That's a different kind of boxing than just getting excited for two guys losing their brains, losing their brain cells, getting hurt.
You know, Sean, though, but I think the big thing is there's a different appreciation for people that know the sport, such as people like us, boxers that have been around, trainers, and real pugilistic minds, people that actually know the sport. Because whether we like it or not, the sport is carried by the quote-unquote casuals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So
we need
so
people who are not you and me.
So you need those type of you do need those type of fights, those rock'em sock'em robot type fights to be sold. The way Tyson was sold, the way some of these big fights are sold, because they have to be sold to the people that don't necessarily watch boxing, that don't know.
I agree.
The big names.
I think we're agreeing, because essentially what I'm saying is you don't have to sell me a fight.
No,
I'll
exactly.
watch any fight. I love watching, and I love watching the craft of boxing. I appreciate watching Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez and people, even Erislandy Lara, people who have high defensive capabilities. I have an appreciation for that. You don't have to sell that to me. The problem is selling it to everyone else. It's selling it to people who are only accustomed to seeing one fight a year. You know what I mean?
But I think where these fighters, though, that like you said, we appreciate, sometimes don't take that extra step to finish off the fights when they can. For instance, this past 2 weeks ago, right, I was in Vegas, so I watched the Rigondeaux fight.
Yeah.
And he completely changed his style. That wasn't the Rigondeaux I was accustomed to watching. I was accustomed to watching somebody that if he got hit 10 times in a round, that he was going to hit the other guy 12 times just so he could hit the round, win that round, and not necessarily take the extra steps to beat somebody's ass. Where this fight, I don't know whether it was his age or just him trying to be more entertaining, but he stood in there toe-to-toe and fought a great fight. He was actually, to me, he was down on the cards, I think like 5 rounds to 2 when he actually knocked his opponent out. But, I mean, it was completely different, and the crowd loved it.
Yeah.
The crowd loved it, and that's where I'm going. I guess I'm getting to the point where even if you are one of those fighters where you're not actually, getting hit and you're boxing and you're doing a beautiful job, there still comes a point in the fight where you need to take that extra step and finish this motherfucker off. I mean, and that's just my opinion, I mean.
So, Alfonso, I assume I've seen you at local shows and things like that, doing commentary and stuff for All-Star Boxing. I saw you at the table there a few weeks ago. So I imagine that you're also a fan. You appreciate a good boxing match. Do you watch it?
I'm not really a boxing fan. I don't watch it that much. I just watch it because everybody's watching it because I'm part of it. Now, if I want to be a boxing influencer and everything I'm doing, I do have to get involved in the boxing game. I do have to know the names and all this stuff. But per se, I'm not a boxing fan. It's not like, hey, everybody, vamos a juntarnos. Like, no me interesa mucho eso.
Gotcha.
He's not interested in everybody getting together, Sean.
Thank you for the translation. I appreciate it.
To everybody following me right now, I just want to say follow me on @El Gomez Boxing, so you can get a whole bunch of different videos, learn a lot about boxing, different way of boxing, in a system where everybody's dancing to the same tune. If you are able to dance to a different tune and be comfortable with that, you have the upper hand. Hey, let me ask you, how come on that screen is not on your screen?
I'm sorry? Oh, yeah. I'm happy to put it up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There you go.
I'm happy to put it up.
There you go. Fine. And can you see the comments there too? People talking?
I can somehow. Here, let's see.
I mean, just
there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
But they're small, so you're going to be able to read them.
Oh, okay. Seems more interesting to
Although there are a couple I want to catch up on.
Sure, let's talk to the people.
Here, let's see. Paul Benke said, go for it, get your comeback.
Paul Benke is your number one fan. Yeah,
he's
Paul Benke.
He's your brother.
Your
brother Paul Benke.
Eddie Rodriguez said he wants you to come to the show July 20th at Pico Rivera and July 27th in Montebello, California. So we got 2 local shows here. Pico Rivera must be Red Boxing.
Red Boxing, yes.
And 27th at Montebello, that would be All-Star Promotions.
Thank you for the invitation. I would need 4 ringside tickets.
Dinner, couple of drinks.
Wow, man.
Nah, just that.
just the 4 ringside tickets. Oh, man. And then let's see. Some of your short-term and long-term goals as an influencer.
Okay.
I would read your name, brother, but it's kind of far away. So what are some of your short and long-term goals as an influencer?
Some of my short-term goals as a boxing influencer is to really connect with the people in a different way. In terms of them understanding that the reason I'm doing everything that I'm doing is to give. If you realize 99% of the people online on their social platforms is to take. At one point, when this whole thing started, I got criticized and by somebody saying, "Hey, you should do everything Ryan Garcia is doing. He's a true boxing influencer." And I went to his thing, and I was like, okay, showing his abs. All right, cool. His
Cobra bag.
His Cobra bag. Okay, cool. But never in the Cobra bag did he tell you how to hit it or why he's hitting it like that, like give you, right? So it seems like the majority of these athletes and people are there to take. They want to take comments, good comments. They want more followers.
They want likes.
They want more likes. They want you to purchase their shit. I don't know. It's more about taking. And if you notice that my stuff, my feeds, my stories, they're usually to give. You know, I want to give you knowledge. I want to give you ideas. In the mornings, I sing my songs. Good morning, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. I don't know if you've seen it. Good morning, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. OMG. Oh, my God. Today's going to be the best day of my life.
Oh my
God.
God.
So I do a lot of stuff. I do it in English and Spanish because this brightens up people's morning, brightens up people's day. It's always to give. Everything that I'm doing, the interviews that I give and that I post up, it's always to give you knowledge. So maybe my short-term thing is to people to start changing that mentality. Hopefully I can see boxers starting their podcast, because I can see boxing fans have podcasts, and boxing fans are making money out of having podcasts and talking boxing. So what do you think? Oh, I think you should have done this. No, I think you should have done that. But what would happen if someone like Alfonso Gomez and let's say Israel Vasquez and Soto Caraz, who started a podcast channel? You know, I think we can blow up big time and have sponsorships in the back, because I don't see any sponsorships behind you, for example.
Because we ain't getting paid.
Exact. Why not?
I do this for free, brother.
Why not?
This is for
Why?
the love of the sport, bro.
Actually, not only do I not get paid, I pay to do this show.
Why?
But there's a different.
Why?
There's a
The
different
question
story.
is why. I understand, like, but why? You know, if you can actually, I mean, I don't know how many viewers you have. You can always reach out to me and reach out to boxers. Come over here. Tell you, like, you should take this more as a business, you know, than a hobby. Because every day, this is what I tell everybody. Every day, every single day, thousands and thousands and thousands of people in the world where this didn't exist are dying. Yet every day, thousands and thousands and millions of people that are only born in this world are being born. At one point, the whole scale is going to tip, and everybody in the universe are going to born in a world of platforms and internet.
Yeah.
That's where, I mean, you already have the podcast, you already have the setup, you already have the crowd. If you take this as a business, you're going to be in the forefront of interviewers, and Max Kellerman is going to try to catch up to you, you know, rather than you doing this as a hobby. Just a little, like, advices like this that I'm giving you, I also give to everybody. Like, take this seriously. This is a business. You're a brand. As soon as you decide to be a boxer, you already decided to be the CEO of your boxing brand. As soon as you decided to get a Instagram handle, make sure you brand that, grow it, get money out of it. Why are people getting money that are not boxers? I mean, this is when it hit me. I have my kid. He loves what's that game? Minecraft, right?
Okay, yeah.
And my kid watches YouTube. This guy there playing Minecraft. He's in the little screen down there. He's on the screen, and he's playing the big screen, the game. My kid just watches him, and I'm like, "Well, do you watch this every day for hours?" And I realized, I was like, "Wait a second, 20 million followers, 30 million views." And in my mind, it hit me like, why is this guy playing video games, making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and then you got boxers suffering to make weight, earning $1,500 something is seriously wrong here, and I understand that. There's nobody telling boxers that you can play video games online and make a lot of money. You know, you can do your passion. It's not even boxing. Another thing is this. I'm pretty sure that 90% of boxers, they're there because they have to, not because they love to. And I can tell you the ones that love boxing, Mayweather, Canelo, the ones that are on top, they love boxing. And the reason they're on top is not because they're better than anybody. It's because they love it more than everybody. So if you're a boxer, I gave this analogy the other day. I'm sure there are boxers out there that go like, oh, tengo que ir al gimnasio. Fuck. Y ya van al gimnasio, entrenan. They come back home. Y cuando regresan a casa, they get excited because this is the analogy that I gave. Example that I gave. They're excited because they love botany, botanica. No, botany. Yeah. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, botany.
Botany, right? So they have their plants there, and they go there, and they set up the light right, and they put the drops here, and they start cutting it, and they have books of fucking botany. You know, these people love that. That they have to, tengo que ir al gimnasio because I want to be world champion and I want to get a lot of money. I bet you if this boxer, he put his camera right there, every time he came home, he turned that on his YouTube channel, he would make more money because that's his love, that's his passion. There's a niche. There's thousands and thousands of people who like botany, who want to know about the recipes or how to cut it or what drops to put. And now you can affiliate yourself with the whole world of that, you know, and sponsorships. And fuck boxing. At one point, we're like, dude, I hate boxing. I only did it because I wanted to be Canelo, you know? But now this is your love. Whatever you do, whatever you love, put a fucking YouTube channel about it and go for it. This guy would do it hours and hours and hours. Hasta su vieja le iba a decir, oye, cabrón, ¿sigues ahí en la botánica? Right? But trust me, this person is going to be the top YouTube botanica person. Not because of anything else, but the number one recipe to be on top of what you do. Because he loves it. Yeah. Right? So if you love this, don't do it as a hobby. Do it as your passion. And you're going to get thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah, there is the boxing influencer. What's up now?
There it is. There you go. There it is. The Boxerpreneur.
The Boxerpreneur.
Boxerpreneur.
Yeah.
Alfonso Gomez,
That's
boxing
right.
influencer.
Toughest fight of your career, man. Was it Cotto?
Yes, my toughest fight was against Cotto because of the circumstances. Or maybe not. I mean, in my mind, this guy, everywhere he hit me, he hurt me. He would like, boom, he wobbled me.
What did he drop you 4 times?
He dropped me a few times, and I mean, I have the excuse, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to that moment. And of all the fighters, the Peter Manfredo, the Canelo, Sean Porter, like fuck, everybody would Kamagai, everybody would talked about. Cotto is the only one that comes up to my mind that I just could not do anything, and everything he did hurt me. So
Actually, there are more fighters, though, who are also obviously well-renowned, big-name fighters that you've sparred against, who you didn't necessarily compete against at a professional contest. Can you talk about some of the names that you sparred as well?
Yeah, Vince Phillips, he was a good fighter that I sparred when I was like 18, 19 years old. I'm going to tell you a little story about sparring. You guys are going to like this.
Okay.
I have never been hit so hard in my life than when I was about 21, 22 years old. And I went to train to LA Boxing when it was in Washington, right? And this fighter, he broke my nose. Like nobody has ever done this. In sparring, you broke my nose?
I think I know where you're going with this.
And that was Margarito.
Were his hands wrapped, bro? Did he have the plaster on?
I don't know if he had the plaster or not, but I have never been hit so hard in my life. And this guy broke my nose in sparring.
The Tijuana tornado.
Yeah, and many, many years later, we found out why.
Motherfucker. Yeah.
It's not unreasonable.
Hey,
No,
man.
but
It's
yeah.
not an unreasonable assumption.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was sparring partners for Oscar de la Hoya for 3 of his fights
Same,
up in
yeah.
Big Bear. which I don't understand why he never. Well, I do know why he never signed me, even though I would beat him in the sparrings. Even though every fighter he put me against, I beat except Canelo, and even that is a little questionable, the stoppage. And come a guy like all your fighters he gave me, I would spar against him. Who else did I spar? I sparred Shane Mosley. Yeah, sparred great fighters out there, all of them. But the one that I feel like is on top is Miguel Cotto.
So you grew up in Guadalajara. Like you said, you moved up to the Bay Area. You kind of moved around a lot. Did you start boxing in the Bay Area? Is that where you actually started boxing?
Yes. Shout out to Donald Eames. You know, he used to be the cutman for Andre Ward, and I would love like watching him in the corner of Andre Ward. Yeah, I started boxing over there.
King's Gym?
No, it was PAL.
Okay.
It was a PAL. It was Oakland. No, Berkeley. Not even Oakland. It's Berkeley Boosters. We used to call ourselves. It was a PAL, and yeah, I started boxing there. It was strange how we got there. I mean, coming from Mexico into United States, it's a big cultural difference. In Mexico, I don't know, back in the day, we used to wear uniforms to go to school. Fajadito. Si no estás fajadito, no entras a la escuela. You don't go into the class.
Yeah.
Shoe shined, bien peinadito. Right? And obviously, my first day of school in Oakland, California, in a public school, you know, back in the 90s when Fresh Prince of Bel-Air had those tirantes colgando, the big ass baggy pants, right? I go to school the first day. No, hombre. They were licking, the bullies were licking their chops, homie. Let me tell you that much. So I wanted to do karate because the Karate Kid was hot back then, you know, doing the whole, you know,
there you
the
go.
whole thing.
Crane technique.
Yeah, but karate was maybe like $20 a month, and for an immigrant family, and $20 back in the day was like $100 today. Back 20 years, 30 years ago was a lot of money. $20 a month for a month. No puede ser karate. So on one of the days coming back, walking, you know, todo aguitado because karate was too expensive, just the bell and my dad's like, what's going on over there? So we go into this boxing gym, and they said, yeah, how much is it for boxing here? Please let it be $5 a month. Please let it be $5 a month. It was $20
Oh shit!
a year.
A year?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
$20 a year, you know. And guess what sport we chose for self-defense? Boxing. Yeah, and it started like that, just there, you know, in boxing and the PAL and Berkeley Boosters. And what starts just as self-defense, you know, the whole. Then you start getting into more. You want to do an amateur fight? You want to spar? You want to do an amateur fight? Sure. You do the amateur fights. Then Chavez is going to fight in the weekend. Oye, toda la familia, tú vas a ser como Chavez. You're going to be like Chavez. Then you start going more into it. You win a tournament, local tournament. Oh, you can go to the Olympics. So in a way, the dream starts growing inevitably. When you're in the sport of boxing, it starts growing inevitably. And at one point, it became my dream. Not really because it was my dream. I went in it because I wanted to do self-defense. I didn't want to get beat up. And yeah, that's it. I was an alternate for the Olympics, and then I accomplished everything that I did. Thank God.
It's interesting that you mention the people who are boxers sort of have to be, because I think that's a recurring theme that we hear on here with a number of fighters.
Yeah,
their rationale for starting in the sport oftentimes is because they're just trying to protect themselves from something going on in their community.
Yeah, for a lot of people, it starts off like that. Like you said, a lot of the stories is, hey, man, it was protection. I never wanted to be a fighter. It just kind of came. You know, I kept practicing. I got better. Amateur fights popped up. I became a national champion, and now here I am. I'm a professional fighter, you know?
Absolutely.
And you know, it's that mentality, like 90, probably more percentage of those fighters, they never make it to the top because it wasn't their passion. They just got into it because I was lucky enough to be, I'm always been very, I'm not athletic at all. I tried cross country in high school. I was last place. Tried wrestling. I hurt my, me duele. I tried all sports, and I'm really bad athlete. I'll be honest. I suck at being an athlete. I hated training. I didn't like training. The only thing that I think got me to where I was, it was because I always thought. I was always very thinking. I love thinking. I love puzzles. I love mathematics. I love all that stuff. So when I would box, I would always, I guess, naturally, I would use my mental skills to surpass the better fighters with better physical attributes. So that's what got me to the top. But not all people have that, I guess, brain that I have. I was blessed with that. But yeah, I'm glad we have this conversation, because this brings us up to the thing. Like, if you're a boxer and you're in it because you have to, and it's not your passion, switch it up, man. Put your YouTube channel. Nowadays, it's free to have a YouTube channel. It's free to have a social platform. It's free to have followers. I can guarantee you that that in 10 years, I'm gonna say 10 years, it's gonna cost money to be in there, just like it costs money to be on TV and to be on radio. If you want to be seen by the thousands, it's going to cost you money. You do it right now. Be on the forefront of your passion. If it's botany, if it's shit like sewing, whatever your passion is, just do it and be on the forefront of it, because it's going to change. People are going to die. TV is going to die. Radio is going to die. Everything's going to be a podcast. Everything's going to be about YouTube. And people are going to charge money. And even worse, people are going to pay money to be in it. Do it right now,
man. And if you don't think he's right, just look at the platform for boxing now. HBO boxing is dead.
The Zone.
Yeah. Everything is on your phone.
Even ESPN is trying to catch up now.
ESPN Plus, The Zone. You want to watch boxing, you better have an app, because if you don't got this phone, you're not going to be able to watch it. I mean, and even when you are watching it, if you don't buy the app, where are you streaming it from? Facebook? Really? You're streaming it online somewhere?
I mean, let's be honest. Everybody, they spend millions. Big companies spend millions and millions of dollars for one purpose alone: to catch people's attention on your product. People's attention is right here, 100% right here. Utilize it to your favor. If you're a boxer, be your own boss and start growing your shit together, so you don't have to depend on a pinche golden boy que te va a conseguir una pelea when he might never do it. He might never sign you. You might never get that, but don't depend on that. Depend on your own efforts. And right now that we have this liberty, fucking utilize it. Run with it.
Exactly.
I will say, if you are not yet following Alfonso Gomez after this hour and 11 minutes, I don't know what you're doing. You guys got to get over to his page, follow him. You want to give him one more time where they can reach you?
Please follow me at El Gomez Boxing. And the reason I want you to follow me is because I want to get followers. I don't care about followers. I want to get people that can listen and learn. And everything that captivates you, please share it. Share the knowledge. Don't keep it to yourself. That's another thing. Another of my awakening moments was I was sparring Brian Castaño. I've told this story before. He was going to have a championship fight, and he was sparring at Legends Boxing. Shout out to everybody at Legends Boxing. Dude, Andy Reese, Robles, Chris Zavala. Dude, this gym is Ryan Garcia. This gym is hot. Legends Boxing. So shout out to Roger Reese and everybody down there. I was sparring with him, and me, as old as I am, retired as I am, I was still putting my hands on him. He couldn't touch me. Couldn't touch this, right? And after sparring,
hammer time.
Hammer time. You know what? Speaking of hammer time, yesterday when Brandon Cannon Adams came out, the fucking announcer said, "Cannon, the hammer." Okay, like, what the? He's like, what? Anyway, so going back.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Well, obviously. Well, did you see that?
I watched them all.
He was like, why? I'm not Cannon. I'm not a camera. I'm Cannon. Anyway, so going back to it. I was sparring Brian Castaño, and after the sparring, he said, hey, you're slow. He says, but you were still able to like catch me, right? And it was hard for me to hit you. How did you do it? And I'm glad he asked, because boxers don't ask. They're shy to ask somebody that has actually
Put hands on him, like.
Yeah, how did you do it? And I explained to him, oh, it's about timing. He said, well, people say I have good timing. You do have good timing, you just don't have control over it because you don't know what it is, right? I mean, it's good to have good timing naturally, but if you don't know what it is or how it works, then you're not going to be able to utilize it to your favor. So I explained to him, this and that, which I will do a video eventually about that, about timing. So I said, and my trainer at the time, he said, oye, ¿por qué le dices? Why do you tell him your secrets? He's going to use him against you. You might actually fight him. And I said, so? I mean, dude, if I can give him something that's going to make him so much better a fighter, that's going to allow him to feed his family more, to be more protected, to be happier, shit, man, that pumps me up. That makes me so happy. And then I realized that the majority of boxing has this idea that you got to keep your secrets to your own. No, my friend. So if you hear something from me and it brightens up and sparks something in your brain and you utilize it and it works for you, please share it. Share the knowledge. Don't keep it to yourself. Do not be cruel like that. Be loving and share it to other fighters. Share it to your opponent too.
And I will say that the song, it works. I was instantly excited. My day was uplifted when he sung the song.
I was just going to say that,
It actually
he made
works.
my day. He said
like,
he made
I don't know how to explain it, but it totally works. So make sure you follow him on Instagram, you guys. Check it out. He's got all the knowledge.
You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on Facebook, on Snapchat. And I'm going to open a LinkedIn account because right now the customer attention acquisition on LinkedIn is big. So get on that too. Try to be as many platforms as you can. Try them all. Even TikTok. I like TikTok. It's one of those brand new platforms for kids. And just be on it. Don't be shy about it. Forget the outside voices. If your mom's telling you, ya deja el teléfono. If your wife's telling you, what are you doing on the phone so much? If your kids are telling you, Dad, listening to me, blah, blah, blah. As long as you're utilizing the phone to do more, to give love, to share, do it. But if you're wasting your life, you're not paying attention to your kids, you're not paying attention to your wife, you're not paying attention to your mom because you're on the phone just wasting your time, then puras mamadas, como dicen, pues no, ¿verdad? Man, seriously, dude, I just want to do it, guys. Just do it.
I will say we could very easily do another hour of this, but I'm sure that you're an incredibly busy gentleman, so I'll let you get on your way. But before we do, are there any shout-outs, anything that you want to give?
Yeah, I want to give a big shout-out right now to the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. If you're in Las Vegas, please stop by the Boulevard Mall in Las Vegas. Inside a heads up, the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame has just opened up its new museum. We have an interactive exhibit where you can get into a ring, you can put gloves on, you can hit a punching bag. You can see a ton of memorabilia from some of the Vegas fights we have there for less than $20, man. You cannot beat it. Go into the Boulevard Mall inside of Heads Up Vegas. Go ahead and check out the new museum for the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. Then in August, we have the big Hall of Fame weekend. We're inducting this year the likes of Chiquita Gonzalez, Bernard Hopkins, Winky Wright, Wayne McCullough, Bobby Chacon, Hasim Rahman, Leroy Haley. The list just goes on and on. Joel Casamayor. So we have a big list of inductees that we're inducting to the Hall of Fame this year. Make sure to follow them on social media. It's NVBHOF.com, the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame.com. Just take the first letter of each one and you can find it online. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can also follow me on Supreme Boxing for your latest updates on any boxing media. And then, of course, here every Sunday with Sean on Beat the Count, the Beat the Count podcast. Be sure to turn in. I know next week we have a big show. We have the referee Ray Corona coming in. We have his son Adrian coming in. And if he's back from Milwaukee, we will also have the undefeated prospect Luis Feliciano, Golden Boy prospect, should be here with us as well. So kind of see where it takes us next week.
All right, and you can follow me on Facebook at Beat the Count, on Instagram at Beat the Count. I want to extend my sincerest thanks to Alfonso Gomez. It has been an absolute privilege. I appreciate the extensive education for free nonetheless. And that's it for me. Thanks, guys. Peace.